On the cover page, we see Ulti watching Who's men beating up page 1, and seeing her brother getting beaten, she cries in rage. The chapter starts with Road and Nami bringing the giant guards back to the village in Svalr. Nami is complaining that there was no huge treasure in the castle, while Road is trying to calm her down, afraid that the guards might hear her words. Cut to Ripley and Franky, who continue their tour of Treasure Tree Adam. Franky says that there are more things in the Adam tree worth seeing than he could have ever imagined. Ripley explains that giants have been living on top of the branches of this humongous tree, which is why there is a rich history associated with each of them. Suddenly, Franky sees a massive Adam tree branch that was cut down. We see part of the branch still connected to the tree. Franky exclaims, "Whoa, what is that?" Ripley explains that there was a village named Hugen on that branch. One day, lightning struck the village, setting it aflame. The thing with these ancient branches is that once they catch fire, it doesn't go away. In order to prevent the fire from spreading to other branches, we had to cut off the entire branch along with the burning village on it. Franky says that must have been tough. As legendary as Adam is, I guess this is something inevitable once a tree gets old. Ripley replies, "We may say lightning and fire are Elbath's only weaknesses." That could be some foreshadowing, and we'll get into that. But I think the mention of the branch falling here could explain how a lot of Adam tree wood got circulated into the world. After all, the Thousand Sunny is made of Adam tree wood. And I'm not sure if this was literally just a random lightning strike from the weather, or if it was caused by Haki or a devil fruit user, but Ripley saying, "We may say lightning and fire are Elbaf's only weaknesses," is probably hinting at what's going to happen at the end of this arc. Ragnarok essentially has to happen, and fire is a big part of that. Whether it's Loki who causes it or someone else using Haki, lightning, or another devil fruit, or if the fight itself causes a fire. We'll see, but I do think this is foreshadowing. Cut to the Western Village. Nami is back at the party, and she is talking with a drunk Usopp. Usopp says, "Nami, where'd you go?" And "I don't see Luffy or Roro anywhere." Nami replies, "Dunno, probably exploring." And Usopp says, "I see, that's good." Jorul arrives at the table where Nami and Usopp are sitting. Usopp says, "Hey, Jorul, check out our genius navigator here." Jorul says, "What a beauty." Usopp replies, "You pervert. Gramp, what's your type?" And Jorul says, "Boahaha, my type? An older woman." Usopp jumps and smacks Jorul on the head with the hilt of his sword, which hurts Jorul a lot. Usopp exclaims, "Like someone like that would exist. You're the oldest in the whole world." Okay, yeah, Usopp's drunk and acting a little out of character, but never mind, maybe this still aligns with his personality. But I forgot that the title of this chapter is An Older Woman, and I previously mentioned that this was probably important, but I didn't analyze it too deeply. Now that I've read the full dialogue here, how Usopp says, "You're the oldest in the world," he's definitely not referring to Jorul, because we know there's Emu and the Gorosei, and maybe, stay with me, this is actually referring to Emu. There are theories about Emu being a woman, or originally a man who swapped bodies with Nefertari Lily, possibly through some unknown ability. It's also heavily implied, if not outright stated by Ivankov, that Emu has undergone the perpetual youth surgery from the Ope Ope Nomi. So is this dialogue hinting at that? Maybe. Let me know in the comments. Nami sits next to Jinbei, watching Usopp's drunken antics. She smiles, saying that it was always Usopp and Luffy's dream to come to Elbath. Meanwhile, Sanji notices that Gerd is absent from the party, so he starts looking for her. We now cut to Road, who is bringing the giant guards to Gerd for treatment. Gerd tries to ask him what happened, but Road attempts to hide the truth from her. In the end, Gerd beats up Road. So yeah, these are the same giant guards who got wrecked by Gunko when they were first introduced a couple of chapters back. Now they're being treated by Gerd. Meanwhile, Sanji is going to find Gerd, of course, because he's Sanji, and Gerd is attractive. But hopefully this leads to Sanji discovering that the Holy Knights are at Elbath, because no one knows that yet. We've got 3 of them, and they're about to kidnap a bunch of kids. Cut to Luffy and Zoro. They are deep in the underworld and find Loki in a near-death state. Luffy tries to unlock the chains, but they are made of sea stone, causing him to weaken as soon as he touches them. Zoro and Luffy argue, and Zoro says it's not safe to release Loki yet. He needs to talk to him first to determine what kind of person he is. Zoro walks up to Loki and kicks his wound, making Loki scream in pain. Zoro says, "Okay, so this injury isn't fake." Luffy protests. "He's almost dead." Zoro Zoro replies, if he dies, then this is as far as his fate takes him. Luffy says, man, you're so mean. Eventually, Zoro agrees to release the chains, but insists on keeping one cuff locked around Loki's ankle. Luffy says he'll go get Chopper, but since the Owl Library is too far away, they should call the village doctor instead. Zoro warns, if that alerts the giants that we're liberating Loki, we'll surely be banished. Luffy shrugs. I don't care. I'll call a doctor from the village. Luffy also says they need to get some meat because no one can recover without eating meat. Zoro looks at the defeated animals near Loki and says, you have plenty of meat lying over there. Luffy's angry snaps, don't ever say that again. They're my friends. I'll go hunt something else in the mountains. Zoro responds, they're meat all the same. Luffy, even angrier, shouts, you obviously don't eat your buddies. Zoro relents, okay, my bad. Just as Luffy is about to head to the village, he hears something coming from the sky. Luffy and Zoro look up and see Hajrudin and his crew falling from above, with Sanji among them. Hajrudin had heard everything from Road and rushed down to stop Luffy and Zoro, but in their haste, his crew didn't take the normal elevator and instead rode a Svalr down. However, since there was no island cloud at this lower level, the Svalr ends up falling. In an amazing double-page spread, Luffy uses Gomu Gomu no Fusen to cushion the impact. His body swells up enormously to stop the fall. Hajrudin cries with joy upon seeing Luffy, but the Svalr bounces with great force, sending everyone except Gerd and Sanji fly away again. Hajrudin and his crew eventually reunite with Luffy, though they are severely injured. They thank Luffy for his help, knowing that a fall from such a height would have meant instant death. Then Hajrudin pleads with Luffy, please, Straw Hat, reconsider your decision to liberate Loki. You must not trust him. He's cunning and cruel, an irredeemable villain. We've known him since he was a brat. If he told you anything pleasant, it's no doubt just a scheme. He's a sinister man who would casually kill someone he called a friend just yesterday. He's an enemy to the world. Zoro, unimpressed, responds, a little late for that. Hajrudin, confused, and says, huh? In an absolutely epic final double-page spread of the chapter, we see Loki has gotten up, despite still having a cuff on his left ankle. He stands towering over Luffy, looking incredibly angry, his face shadowed. Luffy looks like an ant in front of him. The new giant warrior pirates are in shock. They exclaim, it's Loki. Luffy, surprised, and says, what? He should be passed out. Hajrudin glares at Loki defiantly, while Loki grips his weapon with a malevolent smile on his face. Hajrudin says, stop, Loki, stay away from the Rager. The kanji means iron thunder. So this is end of chapter, no break next week. Wow, here we go. Loki is kind of free. He still has the ankle lock on him, which is actually a very smart move by Zoro. But now that Loki is up, he grabs his weapon, a hammer. I guess this is supposed to be the One Piece version of Mjolnir, because Oda has seemingly made Loki a fusion of both Thor and Loki, I guess. Because Hajrudin, if anything, is supposed to be the Thor of Elbaf, but he's not very Thor-like, especially in terms of power level. However, I guess we're about to see what Loki is truly capable of. We probably won't get to see his devil fruit ability yet since he is still chained with Sea Stone, but the fact that he is chained and can still stand up and grab his weapon is incredibly impressive. It just shows how unbelievably powerful he must be. I mean, it was implied before that Shanks became a Yonko by defeating Loki. That suggests that Loki may have been a Yonko in the past. It's not confirmed, of course, but man, he's definitely on that level. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say he's probably around the level of Kaido. But let me know in the comments, what did you guys think about this chapter? What do you think about Loki? What's he gonna do next? Is this the One Piece version of Mjolnir that he's grabbing? Let me know your thoughts, and if you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.